2. What is use case 2 is saying about is I may have multiple accounts under AWS. I may have accounts which spread across multiple regions. So uh, I have a requirement to patch EC2 instances which is spread across multiple accounts or multiple regions. So I do have a requirement to patch certain patches, not a constructive patching, you could say. There is a vulnerability came, so we requested to patch only kernel. Apart from kernel critical patch, there is nothing to be patched. So in this scenario, uh, how we are proceeding is we were creating a input file and we kept it in a S3 bucket and we provide that bucket URL to run document. So this is the demo is all about. Uh, Consider I have two accounts, right? So let me show that here. Consider this as a dev account 4057, where I kept the bucket as a input file, bucket file as a input file, object, this object. So if you ask me what this file contains, it's a simply uh, a YAML file where it contains the input. This input is saying only to upgrade the kernel. This is all about the input that I provided under this file. Okay. Now I prepared my input file. Okay. This is the first step that I did. It is available under my bucket. So I'll take this URL and I'll keep it aside of this particular object. I copied the object URL and I keep it aside. And I'm now logging into my second account. Consider, uh, please accept this as a QA account 1595. Okay. Now I have here one RHEL server. Okay. And I did the normal work around like adding a role and installing the SSM agent onto this particular box. Okay. So I did my work around. Now let me see whether my uh, server comes under System Manager or not. Okay, let me navigate to the System Manager and let me navigate to Fleet Manager. Yep, here it is. My server, demo server is available under Fleet Manager. Now this server considered as a manager node. Here, the difference between the use case 1 and use case 2 is we were not bothered about any of the patch baseline for operating system. Okay, we were not bothered about the patch baseline here. Now, I'm now going to patch this server by navigating under run command. Okay, quickly I'm going here, the run command, and I pick the same document, run patch baseline. Okay, I pick this document. Now I'm directly installing. That means I'm going to patch the server. Here, you have to concentrate. It is saying the install override list. Okay, now I'm gonna provide the URL of my object. Here it is acting like a input file where it is overriding the patch baseline, default patch baseline, and it is asking patch manager to patch only the inputs that are provided under this particular file. Okay, we already saw that, right? Only kernel patches are available. Reboot if needed. And since I have only one EC2 instance running, I'm choosing it manually. I selected my EC2 instance, and just to store the logs, I selected my bucket to store the patch logs, and I'm going for run. It will take some time, and the patching will be completed soon. Yep, if you see here, the system is going down for a reboot. That means System Manager already applied the patch since we are opted for a critical patch, which is a kernel. So in order to apply that patch, System Manager is requested a reboot for this EC2 instance. Okay, we could see here the command execution got successfully completed. Okay, now let me relog in. Yeah, if you see here, the kernel is being upgraded to the next one. Kernel got updated. The input file which we mentioned is 13.1. Okay. Now, if you see here, the kernel file, we were earlier it is running with 9.1. So as per the input file, we were expected this server to be patched to 13.1. So the same thing that has happened here in this scenario. The YAML file, whatever the input that we provided, it got patched to that desired kernel. If you quickly see what are all the patches that got updated, these are completely with respect to kernel only, kernel tools and kernel. Okay, install and upgrade. So there are total 5 patches. Total kernel patches got upgraded and installed. So with this, the use case 2, what we were talking about, I have a server EC2 instance, one or multiple EC2 instance. Okay, so I have an account where my input file exists, and I provided this URL here into this QA option. Okay, in install override option, and hence when I'm executing this command, it is taking input from here. What are all the patches that needs to be applied, and our EC2 instances will be upgraded according to the input file provided in the other account. So likewise, you add prod also here. You just provide this S3 URL path. Accordingly, your EC2 instances will be patched basing on this URL file. Okay, and this is all about a use case to install override. I hope you guys understand this. Thank you.